Oh, it started?
Yeah.
Fuck. I feel like a dumbass, but here we are. Weekly Metal Reviews. We're going to be doing our top 10 of 2013 so far, and because this is July 1st, month 7 of 12. So we're here, you know. Half of 12 is 6, and we're now in month 7. So that's why we're going to do this. What's your top 10? What's your number 10?
My number 10 album is Scale the Summit.
Climbing shit.
Yeah, The Migration. That's the album name. If you don't know this band, they're all instrumental, and it goes. I think the music is based on imagination, and you get everything from a heavy storm to a breezy meadow with this band. So they're definitely diverse in their music playing. Whatever.
10!
Now it's his turn. That's my number 10.
One of us is The Killer by the Dillinger Escape Plan. This album is chaotic as fuck. Just the title track, it can be chaotic, but it can be very strange and weird and, you know, very progressive-like. You know, the title track really showcases that, but, you know, songs like Prancer just annihilate your face, and this is one of the craziest albums of the year by far. This is a damn solid album from start to finish, one that very much entertains you, and you're just like, wow, you know, that's crazy shit. And, you know, some very melodic moments on here as well. It's just, Dillinger Escape Plan just keeps growing, and this album's no different. Number 9, Black Sabbath, 13. This album is godly. It's just amazing from start to finish, you know. Arguably, the original heavy metal band has returned, and 3/4 of the lineup is here, but you almost forget about that. You're almost like, I didn't even know Bill Ward wasn't on this album. Because the drumming's fantastic. But, it's just every song on here is just golden, it feels like. It's just like old 70s Black Sabbath. It's fantastic, you know. There's so many awesome riffs. It's just riffs everywhere. Very blues influence, and it's just awesome. So many classic tracks on here, I feel, that could go right along with Black Sabbath's discography. So, this is a great album. One of the best returns in the history of heavy metal ever, as heavy metal has existed ever. Go.
My number 9 is Young New England, the album from the band Transit. It's good enough to be on my list, but I feel that there are better albums on the list to be ahead of this. That's why they're so far back in the list. But it's still a good album. It's still Transit, and it still gives you the same feeling, the same general concept of transit and whatnot, and it's good. I'll tell you to listen to it if you like them. My number 8 was Disarm the Descent, the album from the band Killswitch Engage. Like Transit, I don't think this is a bad album. By putting it at number 8, I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm saying that I feel that there are better albums. In my opinion, I like things more than this. Not that they're better or worse. I like it. I like other albums more. It's a good album. It's very metal. It's very Killswitch Engaged. And it's what you would expect from them, I guess. And you get an experience from them. They don't disappoint.
Number 8, I had Kingdom of Conspiracy by Immolation. This album is like the Gunnar Lutz of 2013. It's fucking heavy as shit, and it's amazing, and I just want to cuddle it and love it. Sorry. That was stupid. Anyways, this is seriously a great album. If you're into death metal, this is like the best thing that's came out. And death metal's been having a great year, but to me, this is the best of them all. I never really have had a death metal album hit me like this in such a long time. This album really does hit you. I mean, it violently rips your nuts off. and it's just fantastic. It has some of the best death metal songs I feel of the year, and it just swallows you whole and eats you alive, and just it's so amazing and heavy and chaotic and awesome, and I love it. Number 7. You know, we tried to do this video before, but I'm a dumbass and I didn't write down the title of this. Beyond by Buzz Lightyear. I mean, Omnium Gatherum. This album is fantastic. If you want some very melodic death metal, this is where it's at. I feel this band's very unique, very much more guttural vocals than any other melodic death metal band out there, but a lot of emotion and harmonies in the songs, and just amazing songwriting. A very nice use of clean vocals from now and then. White Palace to end the album is just a 10-minute epic. It is phenomenal. This honestly was the very first album of 2013 that I adored. And I was like, yeah, this is awesome. And, you know, it still remains one of the better albums of the year. And I have no doubts that at the end of the year I'll be saying the same exact thing. Omnium Gatherum's Beyond kicks ass.
Number 7.
7.
Number 7, I have Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, Push the Skyway. And you can just look at the review on our channel, gain some reviews for that review if you want to hear what I think about the album. But of course it's in my top 10, so I like it. Yeah, just go watch the review. That'll be your idea. But I think,
you know, if we reviewed this shit, if we reviewed most of these albums, I'll try to link them in the D-box.
yeah. My number 6 album was The Hurry and the Harm by City and Color. It's not what you expect from a weekly metal reviews channel, but it's a very good album. It's very calm, very relaxing, of that sort that you think that I'm going at. And I would say check it out. It may be nothing that a lot of more metal fans that typically like more metal would exactly be super fond of, but who knows, it could be something that you enjoy. It's very non-metal in a way. Like, not metal at all. I'm not going to say it's non-metal in a way. It's a bit of a different world from metal, but it's pretty cool.
That should be a new metal subgenre. Non-metal.
Everything else in the world, non-metal. There's metal and there's non-metal.
Number 6, I had Astronaut with Habitual Levitations. Holy shit, this album is fucking great. You know, songs like Milk Leg are just amazing. Like, this band, I'm serious, I think it's Milk Leg, something like that, but something with milk. But this album this band has so much talent, and every instrument gets used to their highest potential, and this is so much better than Valley of Smoke on you, if you ask me. I mean, the bass stands out so much on here. The way they use their guitars, I mean, at times, literally every member is doing something completely different. Yet they somehow make it work. It's not that it's chaotic, it's beautiful. That's what they do. They're not like, you know, Dillinger, who's on my list, that's absolutely chaotic and everybody's just freaking out, you know. Everybody's doing different things, but they make it work, and they make it work in unique ways that I've never heard before. And to me, this is the strongest album from Intronaut by far. This was one that I was looking forward to a lot after seeing this band open for Meshuggah, and this album does not disappoint. It's awesome. Number 5, Amorphous with Circle. Holy fuck. This album is phenomenal. I know I haven't reviewed this. I kept saying I was going to, but I didn't, and I have no clue why. Maybe I'll still do that, because you all should listen to this album. I mean, songs like Shades of Grey are just amazing, and I'm more in the favor of Amorphous' later albums, Circle, Skyforger, The Beginning of Times. I like more their melodic, I almost want to say hard rock, but not really, because sometimes there's some brutal fucking death metal vocals, but sometimes they just jam the fuck out, and it's amazing. And that's what I love about this, is just how melodic and how they just jam. This is just a great, great, great record. When I first listened to this, I couldn't put it down. I've listened to it for like weeks straight, and I still listen to it. It's one of the better albums of the year, if you ask me. Morphous is just a great band, and this album is no different, buddy.
My number 5 is the split EP from Touche Amore. I'm pretty sure I said that wrong. I didn't do that well in French in school. And Pianos Become the Teeth. It's a split EP, so you get 2 bands on an EP, and it's pretty cool if you like that kind of music. It's stuff that isn't, a year or 2 ago, if we would have done a list of the stuff, whatever we have now, to make a list out of this, I would have gone more deathcore and death metal, the heavier, more metal type of stuff. Like, if there was a Whitechapel album, that would be on there. But they're good. I think they're good, of course. But that's the stuff I would put on here. But it's a little more on the hardcore side, not as metal, but more hardcore metal kind of stuff that you have. My number 4 is the new August Burns Red album, Rescue and Restore. I thought that because we were gonna make this video, after the August Burns Red album came out, that was sort of the cutoff point, because there's nothing else that we thought would make that big of an impact that would affect our list too much. I had high expectations, and that would maybe have been my problem. My expectations may have been a little too high. It's still a good album, and it met my expectations, but, if you set a due date that's a little too short, and, the person who was supposed to meet the due date kind of cuts a little close, I mean, you can't really blame them because the due date was kind of quick, just like how my expectations were kind of high. You know what I'm saying. But that's probably what it was. I feel the album is good. I'm a little hard on it, maybe. But the album itself is what you would expect from August Burns Red, going along their usual path of progression, and that's what you have. It's heavy and stuff, That's a good description. It's August Burns Red. There's Jake's cool vocals, there's leads, and there's rhythm, and there's cool drums. The August Burns Red package.
Number 4. We may have been very critical on this album, but I have The Devil Put Dinosaurs Here, because Jesus don't like a queer, and that's why that's on my list, because Jesus don't like queers. But this album really has grown on me a lot. I still think it's flawed. I don't think it's perfect, and basically in our re-review, I still feel the same way. I can't listen to every song on here, just because, it wears down after a while, and you're just like, and, that. But, I just feel about, 7 or 8 of the tracks on here are just golden, and they're just awesome. Once you get past the fact that, they really don't change up their guitars that much, and it's kind of a slower paced album, but I mean, it is a solid album. I'm not saying it's Alice in Chains' best. I'm not saying it will grow on me so much that it'll be my album of the year at the end of 2013 and all. But I mean, it is solid, and you just have to. This is, I would say, out of every album on this list, this is the one I listen to the most out of all of them, because I just tried to get into it more and more, and I definitely did. I mean, it's still almost a disappointment, but it's still a fantastic album. Number 3, I had The Living Infinite by Soilwork. fuck, dude, this album is fantastic. This double album is fantastic. To me, both parts are equally as awesome. You just got that.
Yeah.
Kieran. Fuck. I was gonna say fuck, dude. I don't know what I was gonna say. This double album is amazing. Sorry, we're just taking off too much for this. You know.
BA double album.
Yeah. I should talk about this album, damn it. I keep getting distracted. There's 20 songs on this album, and all 20 songs are absolutely phenomenal. Straight from the start, you know, Spectrum of Eternity just comes in with this blast and this scream and this wicked guitar harmony and just blows your ass off. And there's just amazing songs like Rise from the Sentiment, you know, both title tracks of Living Infinite, Part 1 and 2, you know, Long Live the Misanthrope, Tongues. I could go on and on. This album is what melodic death metal really should be to me. Mix of aggression with, you know, obviously very melodic, very, very much on the melodic side. And this album has some of the best songwriting I have heard all year. I mean, the songs on here are just so strong. You know, I've always felt the Soilwork before this album were good, but they never really got to that point where I was like, they're great. And this album really bumped them over that threshold. And this album's phenomenal. And they shared my review on their Facebook. And for that reason alone, they're on.
Did you say L 20 songs instead of all?
All.
I thought you said L.
Maybe I did.
L 20 songs.
I can't talk.
I thought you were going to speak Spanish or something.
Yeah, look.
Wow. My number 3. Shut up. You're trying to do video. My number 3 is the album Singularity from the band Northlane. It's... What? It's nothing too, again, on the more metal side of something that I would have had on my list a year or two ago. It's, again, another album that I would say it's more on the hardcore side. It's not all out heavy like some of the releases this year. I wouldn't put it anywhere near Within the Ruins or Suffocation, but in its own realm, it's a pretty good album. As I said, more on the hardcore side, but you know, they have the other band that can have a hardcore side and a more rock side and some of a soft side, and then they can get pretty hardcore. The band is pretty diverse and, you know, a few different pieces to them. Number 2, I have Black Dahlia Murder, Ever Black, the album. It's a good album. You can watch a review. It's really long. I can save you all the trouble by saying that Trevor does a great job, Ryan does a pretty great job. Those are the only 2 members that I know. Just because you don't have to know every member of the band to like them. They have a drummer. An old member of the an old member of the band. His name was Ryan Williams. Anyway, the album itself, it's pretty great. Comparing it to their older albums, the solos definitely branch out more. They seem to have we branch out until you know, into the neighbor's yard, which is like alternative metal or rock or something. They, you know, you can hear the riffs being in metalcore songs or deathcore songs or other types of metal. It's still Black Dahlia Murder, and they make it work for their band, but it's something that is a little creative, very creative. Trevor's vocals are great, as I said, and the drummer, I think he doesn't match Shannon Bates, but he does a pretty great job of, you know, making it seem that Shannon Bates is still there. That's my number 2.
Number 2. Killswitch Engage, Disarmed Descent. Um, you know, if it wasn't for Black Sabbath, I would say this is like the return of the year. You know, Killswitch Engage, they haven't been away for 40 years, but, you know, they've been away for 4. And, you know, they got Jesse back in the band, and I think Jesse just blows shit out of the water. He sounds so phenomenal on here. At times you can hear kind of the alive or just breathing influence on him. You know, you can hear that. But I feel that, you know, you take Alive or Just Breathing, and then you take this album. I'm just talking about Jesse's vocals, and this album, like, beats the shit out of Alive or Just Breathing, if you ask me. He just sounds so, yeah, I mean, Alive or Just Breathing, he sounded very raw and aggressive, but he sounds raw and aggressive on here. He sounds so in your face, and his clean vocals have just, they sound so much better. They are just above and beyond to me. And, you know, I would put this up there as arguably one of the best Killswitch Engage albums of all time to me. I've listened the shit out of this, and I still can't get enough of it. It's just way, way too good. I feel that every song on here is just a classic, as with pretty much everything Killswitch Engage has done in the past. It's so hard to pick my favorite album from this band, but, you know, if someone picked Dishonored Descendants their favorite, I wouldn't blame them, because this is just a solid album, you know. The riffs are very Killswitch Engage, very, you know, more old school metalcore, with some very amazing solos, and just very chunky moments at times, you know. You know, the way the album starts out with the blast beat right in your face and very chunky riff, and it's just like, damn, you know, you didn't see that coming. I mean, it's just phenomenal, phenomenal, and phenomenal from start to finish. Number 1. That was stupid. It's time to get metal as fuck right here. And heavy as fuck, dude. The Black Dahlia Murder with Everblack is my number 1 album of June 1st, 2013. July 1st, fuck me.
Life 1.
Yeah, in Life 1. I'm not sure if Life 2, if I will be able to listen to music, but it'd probably be number 1 in July 1st, 2013, Life 2 as well. And Life 3 and 4 and 5. But that's as far as you can go. Fuck, man. This album, I can't do justice to this album. I can't say in words how fantastic it is, because it's just so amazing. If there's one even little tiny flaw to this album, is yes, the solos are orgasmic. They are so good, every single one of them. But I've noticed, listening to it over and over again, that every solo, they slow the rhythm down. So it's kind of easier for Ryan Knight to shred, you know what I mean? I wish they wouldn't have done that with every one, but the solo is just so good that you almost don't give a shit. To me, this album is by far the most solid that the Black Dahlia Murder has ever done. This album blows away Ritual. Ritual blows away Deflorate. You know, I feel that this band continues to grow with every single album, and this album is no different. This is the best Trevor has sounded. This is the best production this band has ever had. This is the darkest, gloomiest that this band has ever sounded. This is the heaviest that this band has ever sounded. Take Phantom Limb Masturbation. That song is fucking so heavy. And, you know, Into the Everblack is just so evil. This is a classic album. When I look back 20 years from now and you ask me what are some classic albums from when I was growing up, I would fucking put this album right up there with some of the best. I will not be surprised if at the end of the year this is still my number 1 album. This is just some good shit. I expected this album to be good, but I did not expect this album to blow me away like it did. And that's why it's my number 1 album of the year thus far.
Trevor's vocals were a little quiet on Map of Scars. Yeah, a little bit. And the solos they always seem to be kind of loud. Like louder, like noticeably loud.
Yeah,
I thought a
and
little bit.
in the song "Control," I can't help but headbang to that every time. Like I was driving down the highway one day and it was raining really bad, and I probably should have been paying attention to the road, but instead I was headbanging to "Control." That song's going to be the death of me. That's my fucking list. Fuck you, paper.
My number one is this is how the wind shifts from the band Silverstein. Whatever genre you want to put these guys in, hardcore, post-hardcore,
Softcore.
according to Wikipedia, emo, if that's a genre.
Porn?
What?
Keith says porn core.
Oh, that's Keith. There's Keith over there. But I would say post-hardcore, hardcore, metalcore, even if you will. The songs are there's a lot that goes into them. They're very chord-based, and songs like Stand Amid the Roar, even the chorus, I guess you could call it, is a really groovy, wicked breakdown. I guess you could call it a breakdown. It's you bang your head to it, and the drums seem to follow along with the breakdown pattern. I guess you could call it a chorusy breakdown, whatever. It's very catchy. The song California, that whole entire song will get stuck in your head, and multiple songs from this album. You'll move on from one song to the next. Each song will find a different point in life to get stuck in your head, and then it happens all over again. And that's how you know an album really sticks with you. Like different parts, different points in your life. Each song from that album will at one time or another be stuck in your head for a couple days or a week. And that's how you know an album usually takes that effect on you. And I think Shane's vocals are very, very good on this album. It's incredible how quickly he goes, even live, from a scream to singing. And I'm glad they brought in Paul Crate on the guitar. They just brought him in for this album, and I think it turned out very well. I don't know what else to say about it. It's a great album. Honorable mentions? You want to do that in this video?
Why not? I don't know where my paper went because I kicked it.
I could do my 3 just really quick.
August Burns Red for me. I feel this album's very good, but it's a little bit of the same, if you know what I mean. Even each song is a little bit of the same. We'll be reviewing that, so definitely check that out. But to me, that's an honorable mention. Maybe it'll grow. I also want to give honorable mentions to Havocs, Unnatural Selection, Suffocation's Pinnacle of Bedlam, and there was another one. Scale the Summit, The Migration. All those really are great albums that you should check out.
Any others?
Not that I can think
Alright, I had 3. Paramore, it's a pretty good album. I was feeling it at some parts, but some parts of it was a little weird to feel, at least in my opinion. It is new for them, and they do experiment, which I thought was pretty cool. I have to say that about it. It's just, each person has different things they feel in music. And I felt a decent amount of the album, but some things were a little, not entirely, you know what I mean. Number 2, I have Bring Me the Horizon, Sempiternal. I thought the album was pretty good after the first few listens, but it begins to get, at least in my opinion, because everyone has a different opinion, but it begins to get a bit mundane, and the lyrics don't seem to be that what I'm looking for. The lyrics don't seem to fit the progression of music that they follow. I still feel that the lyrics are sad all the time, and that's not a bad thing, because bands have sad songs, but I don't know. I felt that they could have been a bit more poetic in a way. Is what I'm trying to say. You can have sad lyrics, but you know, you just have to word them the right way. I felt like some of the wording was a bit too basic, if you know what I mean, at least lyric-wise, where some of the best lyrics are, you know, down to earth, straightforward, whatever, and some of them are very poetic and, you know, carefully thought out. Like even the Black Dahlia Murder, Trevor can put together a sentence or a verse and have it be great, and he uses big words. You don't always have to use big words, but I don't know, I just felt that the lyrics were not exactly what I was looking for. And my third one was Tyler, the Creator, his album Wolf. I'm not a huge fan of rap, but I didn't think it was bad, so I had to put on my honorable mentions. I don't like rap all that much at all, so, you know, if I like it, you know, it has to be on the list, because, yeah.
That's it. That's all she wrote, brother. Let's know your top albums of 2013 so far, and we'll see you around on this shindig, dawg.